Did it start?
No, it takes just yep, just started.
All set?
Yep.
Okay, it's 7:07, April 18th, 2023 in City Hall, 140 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Time to call the City of Torrington Inland Wetlands Commission to order. Serving on the commission this evening are members Emily Jury, Adrian Barb, Carl Hunter, myself, Jay Bate. Also present is Nate Nardi Cyrus, Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer and Assistant City Planner. Next on the agenda is minutes for the March 21st, 2023 meeting. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, next old business. Applicant Eric Bass and Alexis Waite. Location 435 Notting Hill Gate. Activity erect fence within regulated area. I don't think we had any issues with this.
Yeah, the only thing that in my last memo, I just recommended as an additional condition that the applicant install markers delineating the extent of mapped wetlands on the property. So as long as the motion references the memo, like conditions in the memo, that should be fine. If that's what you agree to.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I have motion.
I just had a question on where
Okay,
I received
go ahead.
those.
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to know where I could get some of those, the placards.
Yeah, just identify yourself for the.
Good afternoon. Good to see you all again. I'm Alexis Wade. I'm here about the erection of the fence on 435 Notting Hill Gate.
Okay,
I just
thanks.
wanted to know where I could receive some of those markers for the trees.
Yeah, so the motion, the recommendations state that the number and location should be approved by inland wetland agent. We can just work together on that. Right now, I wanted to add that as business after this, just approving printing. I want to print a bunch of them and then charge you less so that it's not like you don't have to go buy them individually and then you can just pay us and, we'll put them out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're back to the motion. I have motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. So you have to do the approve and then state, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the erecting of the fence within the regulated area with the stipulation that they will install markers that is denoted in the memo at 435 Notting Hill Gate.
Is that okay with you, Nate?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Okay, next, new business.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring, just have a discussion with the commission. Currently our wetlands, our only avenues for wetlands enforcement are legal action and sending notices. For our zoning and blight enforcement arms of our land use office, we have access to imposing fines. So we would have to, I just wanted to bring before the commission whether you'd be interested in supporting a wetlands citation ordinance where we would be able to levy fines up to $1,000. That's the legal limit for the state of Connecticut that they cap it at. But it would give us some more leverage and kind of moving folks that aren't coming in to get their permits. So before going down that path and submitting anything to you all for review, I just wanted to see if that would be something you would want to support.
Yeah, I'd support it, depending on what it is,
Mhm.
and how you go about doing it.
Right.
Because instead of bringing them to court, there's a couple of them we've got hanging there. That one up on Felicity Lane, is
Mhm.
that it?
Yeah.
That's been going on for, probably a year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would, tie into what could happen if we were able to do that.
Yeah, I found in my experience doing zoning enforcement, when people are unresponsive, whenever they get the citation, that's usually when we get compliance. And often we waive the citations. It's not important to us about collecting the money. It's just about getting people's attention and trying to move toward compliance. So again, with our zoning enforcement, we could, collect citations, into the hundreds of thousands of dollars and foreclose on people's houses with that. This is capped at $1,000 by the state. So we really, it's not going to stop major offenders, but it does get people's attention.
Yeah, a lot of people that are offenders, it's not like they're huge corporations. Corporations generally just take care of it because they don't want the legal action.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what that would look like. As if you can present something that kind of lays out what the stipulations would be. Definitely would entertain that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree that, like spell out what they got to do wrong to be fined. And, and is this like, like first they must get like a verbal warning and then maybe a second warning and then the third time hit them with the big fine and that should encourage them to,
Right.
do something or pay up.
So I've started some research on it. A few of the adjacent municipalities have ordinances. It's not an uncommon thing to do this. That most of them you have to get to a cease and desist. So if there's like, just send someone a notice, that's not enough to start citing them. And you don't want to cite people for no reason.
Right.
But you basically get to a cease and desist and a show of cause, which is where we would bring them in to Wetlands Commission to explain themselves essentially. And if they ignore the show of cause, it gives us another route to bring them in to get compliance. So I'll bring in a few examples. They've set it up. Some people have like combined it with their zoning citation ordinance and had both under the same ordinance. Some people have separated it. Sometimes they have like certain offenses are more higher citation fines. Sometimes all offenses are a single daily fine up to the cap. So we can kind of go over the logistics, but if you're all supportive of me
I'd like
doing
to
that,
hear
I can
about
bring
it.
it to a future meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody's doing something majorly wrong, like run off into a stream that's polluting the stream, we want to hit him with a fine.
Yeah.
But if somebody, is a more minor case, you can be a little easier on them.
Well, it gives us, we ultimately have discretion on who we're imposing these and that can come down to the commission, whether or not you want to,
Right.
once it gets to show a cause, it kind of gets into your court anyway, as far as figuring out what to do. Whereas as the agent, I'm handling a lot of the more minor stuff.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, because it's not a regulation, it's an ordinance, ultimately you would be providing us a letter of support from Jay as the chair with a motion of support to the council. The council would make that approval and they would adopt it as an ordinance like any other municipal ordinance. So that's kind of, there's a lot of steps down the road moving forward on this. So, but I wouldn't want to start putting time into it if there wasn't support from the commission.
Yeah, no, I definitely think you have support.
What's Emily think? You still on?
I am. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's different.
No problem.
But I support it. I would love to hear more, Nate, about your research and what other towns are doing and how they enforce it. But I think it would be a great way to motivate people who aren't otherwise necessarily coming in and doing the things that we need them to do, ask them to, and need them to. So in those more extreme cases, I think that it would certainly be useful. But I'd love to hear more at next meeting.
Great. I'll put together a presentation and some examples and share those with you before the meeting.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
The next legislative update.
This I wanted to bring to the commission's attention. Jeremy Lyford, our city planner, tracks legislation that impacts conservation and planning and all that, and he forwards stuff to me. And just kind of out of nowhere, out of the environmental commission came this proposed bill it's like I said, it's come out of commission, so it may be coming up for a vote. And this concerns training for municipal inland wetlands commission members. And so right now, the training requirements is that once a year, someone from the commission is trained. And then technically they have to make a presentation, but there's no real teeth to that. This would actually mandate that everyone is trained within a 5-year period. So every 5 years, everyone would have to take the training. It's an online training provided through, I think UConn does it in cooperation with DEEP. It's not a bad thing, especially for new members. It could be kind of tedious for older members that have been at this for a while, but anyway, something to look into. They've already, Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals that recently had something passed requiring their members to take training, and we have to certify that as a municipality. So, there's a kind of momentum with this with increasing training requirements. So just something for the horizon. Like I said, you'll have plenty of time to know about it and be able to get trained up if you have to be, but I'll keep everyone posted.
Yeah, how do I sign up?
I can basically, if you type in DEEP inland wetlands training into Google, it'll bring you to the program. It's free. It's worth doing as new members just to get an understanding.
Is it a long?
It's long.
Yeah.
It's not. It took me a few days, a couple hours a day.
Oh, I was going to say like 8-hour days. Or
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like a training module thing where it saves your progress and you just kind of.
Oh, you can take a break.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. It's just, you got to put the time into it. Maybe it took a little bit longer than that, but no more than 8 hours total. And there's several modules associated with it. I did it when I first started, so I don't really remember it that well, but yeah, it'd be a great thing.
Yeah, because I would like to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't cost anything.
No, it's free, and it'll likely become mandatory. I mean, if this passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to let you know I have a new email address
Oh,
that might be
wonderful.
beneficial.
Yeah. Do you want to you can give it to me now or later?
Yeah, let me write it.
Here, do it right on my agenda.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I have for the legislative update.
Next is staff report. Babbling Brook, that's been around for a while.
Yes, it has. So 137 Babbling Brook. This is a zoning violation where we discovered a wetlands violation that was the piping of a stream and restoration of that whole area, the law and draining of the wetlands. Pretty significant change over time. That landowner was extremely compliant and they addressed their zoning violation, and they have been working with a wetlands consultant that we're all familiar with,
Right.
George Logan.
Right.
He's done applications for us in the past. He's very professional, and he seems to have fallen off the face of the earth. So I talked to him once. He seemed to understand the situation. It was there was some confusion for a while, and that's what was delaying it. And then the past month, I've been calling him multiple numbers, emailing, and just radio silence. So I don't know if something happened to his business. I mean, it's a small outfit. So anyway, if I can't get in touch with anyone, I'm gonna require that he contract with somebody else because it just can't go on indefinitely. And I've been on email threads where he's reaching out and saying, George, can you advise on this? And it's just been nothing. So.
At least they're trying.
That's what I mean. I don't want to be punitive because they're definitely trying.
Yeah, okay, that's all right.
So anyway, so that's that. 322 3222 Torringford Street. This was a single family home. They were clearing the lot and they were running heavy equipment through the wetlands. That was not a condition of their permit.
What part of Torringford Street was it?
Cedar Lane.
Oh, across
that
from
is?
Cedar Lane?
On the same side as Cedar Lane, a couple of lots down.
Okay.
George Newjames, do you remember when that application? That was when George Logan worked on that application, and
He didn't finish that.
he did.
Oh, he did finish
yeah,
that?
and he prescribed that really, really detailed and expensive restoration.
And they did it?
They haven't done it yet. They haven't fully. They're
Because he was
just clearing
supposed
the
to be
law.
on site when they were doing it.
Right. They haven't even, this is just the clearing of the law.
Okay.
So they hadn't even gotten to doing construction or any of the home or anything. So that we got them to stop work, cordon the area off. There's been some damage, but they'll restore that as a part of it. But I've been just keeping that in inspections. 169 Scoville Street. This was an actual complaint, but it's basically an encroachment onto city land in the floodplain, not floodplain, but in the Army Corps project on Palmer Bridge Road. The city owns a lot of land along the Naugatuck River there, pretty much all that land as flood control land. So the city has a lot of requirements that they have to maintain that area in a certain way for Army Corps. And this was just like people just building out their hardscaping and tree planting and just kind of building their yard out into the Army Corps project, which also was a wetlands violation, but they are removing it, so they won't require a wetlands permit for that. They have to get it off the city land. It's not.
Excuse me, I never got this thing in the mail.
Okay, let me give you.
You have an extra
I do
one.
have extra ones, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Because I got the other one that showed about, her house.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I got that one,
But
but I
not
didn't
these.
get this one.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the agenda. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
changed that out. The other, and then I have two more that just came up that aren't on the list. 28 Plains Street, that's ONG property. Some kind of minor clearing along the wetland. They put in silt fencing, but they didn't get any permits for it. So they're following up with us for permitting. And then 189 East Main Street, that's the Shell station that's being, I don't know if you've been on Lower East Main Street, the Shell station that they're.
Changed over. all the tanks.
I noticed, I was looking at that, I was like, wait, I forgot that's right next to the river, and there's no S&E, and they have like an outlet that's just like a ripped wrapped kind of drain for the entire lot, and the sediment stockpile is right next to it with no S&E.
okay.
So I was like, you got to get something to me and stop working. So they've been responsive. The company that's doing the tanks, Borghese is overseeing the whole project, but the company doing the tanks is pulling the permit. So they've been responsive, and we're working with them on that.
And next, just agent determinations.
And I won't go into all these because I don't think it's mostly nearly all activities in the upland review area. If you had any question on any of those.
What was on Hillendale?
This was a small single family lot where the owner didn't really know where the property boundary was and started clearing onto land trust property that had wetlands, snapped wetlands on that property. And so I went out, and they came in to get permits for other things. I went out with them. They're going to get the property surveyed. As long as they keep it on their property, their wetlands, the agent determination gives them the ability to, they want to put gardens in. It's not a big activity. So that's that. The only one other one I guess is worth noting is 53 McDermott Ave. This is an application for a recreational cannabis facility that's next to in the Saki House.
Yeah.
Right next to the Ocean State Job Lot Plaza. They're doing maintenance on a water quality basin that was an old basin, and it was a intermittent stream that flows right in. It's like the stream is like dug out to create the water quality basin. So we determined that it wasn't in need of a permit because it was maintenance of an existing structure. There's plans showing it as the water quality basin, but that is work directly in the wetland. Like it's mapped as wetlands. It wasn't maintained for years, but it's going back to that use. So they received a agent permit for that.
Okay. Well, I guess next is adjournment.
I do have. I'm sorry. I do have one more item.
Okay.
It's not on the agenda, but regarding the signage for the regulated areas, I just wanted to share. This was my draft of something because we don't have any signage. But I don't know if that's okay or if you want. I'm not a graphic artist. This is something that seemed inexpensive and. I mean,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
if you'd like to look at it, yeah, it's got the duck on it.
Yeah.
Emily, I could share it with. I'll share it with the entire commission afterwards, so you can see a picture
Okay,
of it.
sounds good.
But if everyone's okay with that, then I'll just go ahead and order that out of our land use budget so that we can provide that to applicants at a reduced
Should
fee.
be a little brighter though. I don't know if you can get it brighter.
Brighter on the background color.
Yeah, because they're not going to see it.
Okay. I'm
That's-
trying to balance visual recessiveness
Yeah.
with,
Like
you know.
maybe make the duck fluorescent orange or something.
Put a safety vest on them.
Yeah.
Bright green.
okay, so I can bring the green up a couple shades.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'm trying to stick to 2 colors because that's the cheaper.
Yeah, you don't want it too bright, but you don't want it so nobody sees it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll bring it up. You generally get to work with the sign contractor and they'll give you mock-ups and
Right.
stuff. So,
That's good.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be maybe the words are like reflective, to hit it with light, that way it pops.
That's a good
Yeah, it might be a
idea.
good
Yeah.
idea.
You know.
yeah, I'll, if everyone's okay with it, I'll go ahead and order that. Is that,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna have to pass a motion for that. That can just be,
Yeah, I don't think so.
all right, that's all I had.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.